Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I'm Britt. This is my channel, brittwriterly, a book and author too, where I talk about the intersections of literature and culture. We do these FriYAY sprints every Friday. So thank you all for joining. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you smash that like button. If you are a faithful follower of FriYAY, welcome back. Also, please smash that like button. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. I know I have a lot of replay ghost watchers, but feel free to type a little something in the comments. Y'all have been doing that lately at my request, so thank you. Continue to comment if you're watching on the replay. I love to see who's like watching me after the fact. Oh, and now I'll let my lovely co-host introduce herself. What? Introduce herself. What?
Good morning, y'all. I'm almost completely awake. Still getting, a little bit. Gotta finish my medicine during the first sprint, so I'll be like really awake then. Hi, I'm Shay. My channel is Shay with the Hobbies. There hasn't been a lot of activity on any of them at this point, but that is going to change because we are reading The Poet X and Thomas and Beulah, which I still have not found anywhere. I requested it from my library, and I'm even willing to pay for an interlibrary loan to get it if they have to do it. So we shall see. But yeah, because everywhere that I found it on Scribd was like a PDF of somebody's like expository essay or contrasting essay or and it's like, oh, it's so nice y'all put y'all schoolwork on here for people to read, but no. So there's that. But yeah, that's all I'm doing right now, y'all. But stuff is coming. Stuff is because I got a big surprise like in my life coming. So stuff is coming. Y'all just gonna have to wait. That's all. You just gonna have to wait. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Why I was like, are we having scheduling tomorrow? Because we just haven't hung out, and I just have to catch you up on like a lot of stuff, right? Sweet.
Okay, now no matter what, I'm about to be like, okay, listen, friend, who's visiting? Let's figure something out around the
well, I'm not doing stuff. So if it needs to be like later in the day because your friend is in town, you're going somewhere. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm
Yeah,
not
we'll
tripping.
see. We both know I'm just too nosy to put stuff off.
This is very true. It's part of the reason why I told you.
Dang.
Because I just be knowing, like, I was like, this will make sure. Because I will totally forget to say something. But if I say something that bugs you enough, you will remember and we'll
Absolutely.
see.
100%. I have a trash memory, and that is the only way to spark it, is giving me a question without an answer and being like, oh, but I kind of did whatever. You did what? Huh? I feel handled.
No, you
Okay,
just have a
Annalise
friend
Keating.
that really. I
What'd you
need
say?
you to look at the glass half full, okay?
It's
You
giving
just have
Olivia
a friend who
Pope.
really knows you.
Wow.
And I know myself. I know myself and I know you. And it's just like, I'm going to keep forgetting to bring this up. But if I tell her that there's something that I need to tell her, I can't tell her right now, she'll remember that there's something I ain't tell her and she want to know.
It's all true. It's all true. Also, I started some locks.
So I was like, nah, because we would have talked about this right now. Nah.
I know. And I meant to tell you before I pushed the live button, but then time kept getting away from us. And I was like, I'll just text it to her. So we've both been withholding things.
Yes,
bum, bum, bum.
We have. This is how you feeling about it?
I feel great because I don't do anything to my hair anyway. It's either a protective style or one of my girls in the back. So I'm just like,
and you really can't get away with like not twisting for like every couple of months, like really, truly.
Yeah. So I'm just like, what's the point? Like, I keep telling myself that like I'm gonna do all these different styles with my hair, but I don't.
Yeah.
I never style my hair. Like, I really don't. So and it's just a whole thing. So I was like, honestly, I should have started this process last year, but I was still in my like, you can't do any like. Well, I was like, oh, I can't commit to one style, and locks are one style. Locks are a
They are,
style,
but
but
they're
you can
not.
also style them,
Right.
right?
Nah,
Right.
specifically because like locticians just weren't a thing when I did it when I was younger.
Exactly. So if
So
you
it
couldn't
really
do it
was
yourself,
like
then you couldn't do it.
whatever ponytails you can do a bunch of different ponytails. It's just
Right.
kind of like the end of it, and it's like, nah, it's not that at all.
You can do whatever you would do with your straight hair, except for like a blowout.
Right.
I
No,
guess.
because like even like I like part of the reason that made me like be like, okay, I can commit to this was like watching videos of, like people still getting braids and whatnot. And I was like, oh, this is still a thing. Like, I mean, they need to be set, but it's still a thing. Well, then
Yeah.
don't, because like sometimes I want to add a little color, and I don't like. I'm afraid of the idea of like dyeing locks, like just over time. And there are,
I'm
but like
okay because locks
I'm
already
okay with
need a
the
lot of
idea of
moisture,
it if
right?
you have a loctician. For me, where I am, I don't. And so it's like it would be me trying to maintain, and there's just a lot of work that
Yeah.
comes with it, especially because there's bleaching involved, and just
Exactly.
bleaching
Yeah.
our
Like.
hair is so no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yay, I love this for you.
Thank you. I'll
I
send you a
love it.
picture so you can see the close
Yay.
ups. But yeah, so started it with just 2-strand twist and interlocking. So I'm going to go back for like a palm twist in 4 weeks and then
Now I can
interlocking.
add you to my like women I text when there's some lock stuff that I like. Like I send it to everybody that I know that got locks, and now you can be a part of that. Aww.
Yeah, they look good. I was expecting them to like shrink. And I mean, maybe they will more and more over time, but for now, they're still as like sort of elongated as they were when she did
Well,
it
and if the
yesterday.
person does them right, because like I had a friend who like her natural hair was really long, but the way that someone told her to do her locks, like I want to say like it shrunk her hair by like half, and it was just like
half.
Yeah. And I was just like, that's like, it's because she's doing it wrong. Because, like, well, your hair is too fine to have locks. And it's like, my grandmother had the finest set of hair. Like, in all the older pictures of her hair, y'all see how, like, thin and fine that is. Like, that's always been her consistency of hair. And she had locks for over a decade. Like, no, like, you just got.
If you can't do it, just say that you can't do it. But I can't do it.
Right. Like, and there's just different ways to start. Like, you start with 2-strand twists instead of trying to palm roll, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, or like instant locks. If you have thin hair, then you probably can't start with probably can't do instant locks. But yeah, if you give yourself, and that's what she was saying. Like my beautician, she was like, really, she was like, there are different ways to start it. It just, it depends on, it'll just change the shape of the lock. Like if you start your locks with braids, you can do that. It'll just take longer for it to be actually round as opposed to the flatness of a braid. Like you can do lots of different things, but when people try to like make claims in America about like authenticity of how you start and get like, when I was in high school, they were like, oh, well, if you don't cut your hair and start it when your hair is short, it's not real locks. And she was like, they're just mad now that you can start them at a longer length because they just didn't have all this information when they were starting them 10 years ago.
Right.
We've progressed. We know more now. We know that you don't have to not wash your hair for 6 months after you get a lock. Like, they're just things that we know. And she was like, and honestly, she's Haitian. And so when she was like, them thinking they know what authentic locks are. Like, honestly, in Haiti, when someone decides to lock their hair, we usually just instant lock, which is back combing. And so she was like, no, that's not the most popular way to do it here, which is fine. But them trying to say that unless you start it when your hair is short, it's not locked. She was like, we don't do that in Haiti. Whatever length your hair is, they gonna lock it at that length. Like it doesn't have to be short. And so
and people are forgetting that a lot of people in the back when they were starting it was because they were starting their locks with their natural hair journey, so their hair wasn't just short because they cut it.
Exactly.
Because you did a big chop. Like that's a completely different conversation. So
exactly, you don't have to cut off your natural hair to start it over as locks.
As locks, not at all. Yeah.
So it's just all of that. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, because I'm just like, it just makes so much sense. But she was like, yeah, you're a good candidate.
I know it definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Because like legitimately, I'm trying to think. There's this is such a stereotype, but I don't know any professor of African American studies that don't have locks.
Really?
Yeah, all the ones I know, every single one of them have locks.
None of the professors in my department have locks. Yeah, no. Does no we like? No, no, I don't think so. None of them have locks.
Mm.
And most of them are like, I think they're all US citizens now, but like most of them are not from the US. They're like
Yeah, so all mine are
Liberian
from the US.
professors.
I don't know any of that.
Okay.
Yeah, all mine are from the US, and all mine are from like the South.
Okay. I mean, when I went to North Carolina for my line sister's wedding, can I tell you,
Yeah,
on every street,
yeah,
locks. I say, y'all are serious about it down here.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Like, and
yeah.
it was like, so it's been interesting to me because like I've seen like three different ways of locks. Because there was
Mm-hmm.
like a wave of locks when I was in high school when all the dudes started getting them and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that and like dyeing the
Yeah.
tips of them and everything. Then there was the wave in college when girls was finding natural hair, and now there's like a
Yeah.
wave again. So it's just interesting watching like people rediscover things and
Yeah.
like always feel like they know more than like the people, and it's just like
Yeah.
no, this has been around for a while.
For
It's just
a long
a
time.
long time.
Mad long time. It's cross continents, y'all. It's not.
It's
It's.
not, yeah, nah, it's definitely
But yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. For those who came in late, yes, I locked my hair yesterday. Well, I started the locking process. But she was like, yeah, you probably have like 3 to 4 months to change your mind, where you could just take it down and it'll just be a twist out. But she was like, but really, it's time that locks your hair. Like people try to have all these different techniques that'll
nah,
make
it's
your hair
time.
look more
Nah,
like a lock more quickly. But
nah,
time
it's
locks your
time.
hair.
And for like for me, like I have to twist mine more often because it won't hold. Like I have to like constantly be keeping the shape going because
Really?
I have really like I have really thin fine hair.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it's like if it's not, you know what I mean, like I gotta keep it locked or else it'll just like,
Mhm,
oh, I'm gonna come back
mhm.
undone. Especially if I wash my hair. Like every time I wash, I
Yeah.
is like
Did
every
you
time.
twist it yourself and you're just letting it lock, or did you go to someone?
No, I had someone do it for my birthday. Remember?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I
do it for
haven't
my
seen it since.
birthday.
So
Nah, because I'm in
I
dealing with
know.
the process is but no, and so I was going to send you a picture because I was gonna have her do it for the first quarter, like every quarter
Okay.
her do it, like me do it and
Okay.
her do it every quarter. But she ended up our schedules didn't line up, but she ended up having to get her teeth removed before because I needed it done in order to be able to braid my hair for the other thing.
Yeah, otherwise they'd be out by
Right,
the time you
because
get the braids
I don't
out.
want to twist it and break. Like, nah, I'm trying to break my hair off. No, that doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the thing for me too, Vina. But then I don't really do twist outs that much. I used to do them all the time when my hair was shorter, but the longer my hair gets, the less I want to mess with it. So I'm just like,
No,
whatever.
literally, that's me. And the only thing that was making me mess with it was braids. And so it's like, if I
Yeah.
can keep that, I'll do it because, like,
Yeah.
I love me a good braid. Love
And the
me.
fact that like I've seen some locks that do that. Not some. I've seen some people I know who curl their hair, who curl their locks. It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait for it to get long enough to do that. Like to get.
Yeah.
I was seeing this clip and it's a sad clip because it's like Quavo going to this thing, but Quavo's locks
Mm-hmm.
super wavy in this moment from
Mm-hmm.
like being braided, and I was like, oh my god, that is such a beautiful look.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
so beautiful. I just love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
So will I miss my coils? Not, I mean, no, I won't because I think I'm just like, I did it a lot. I've been just trying to enjoy every season of because, I shaved my head when I got to grad school in 2017. So I think like October 2017, I shaved my head. It was so amazing. Oh my gosh. Love it. When I do it again, yes, I loved it. Um, and I was just like, let's just enjoy every like length of hair. And I did. I enjoyed doing the sponge brush. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Like I enjoyed every kind of it. So I'm very familiar with my coils. I do love them, but I
Mhm.
also recognize that I just don't even were I not to like my hair, I still wouldn't be seeing them often because I would just keep braiding
Yeah, I
my
was gonna
hair
say, like,
down.
in the last couple of years, it's definitely for you become out of sight, out of mind with your hair.
Very much. I
Like,
just
very
don't
much
have
so.
it.
Right. So
I
no,
don't
it
have it.
totally makes sense. And
Yeah.
high key, way cheaper
Yeah.
comparatively speaking, right? Because like what you're
Yeah.
spending on wigs or getting your passion twist and everything, like it just
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing for me. It was like because there's hardly a point that you can get to locks where you couldn't do it yourself very easily. Like you can still have someone do it, but it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just not one of those hairstyles where it's like
Yeah.
somebody
Especially
has
when they're like locked and you
right. Once
like,
they're that's the point. Once they are
yeah,
locks, like
yeah,
yeah,
you're
it's
good. You
the
can go
time.
for 6 months
Literally,
without
it's
having a retwist anyway.
right.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just like, ooh, a short fade. I loved that. Yes, I
I
loved that
love that.
phase. Oh,
I love that. 2020, man.
it was oh my gosh. It was like
2020,
2018,
I ain't gonna lie, I
2019
was
for
looking like
me.
Mr. Studio Girl in this place. I was like, y'all better leave me alone out here.
It was so, oh, it was, you're right. You're right, literary lady. It's a move. I loved it. Get a little line.
Yeah, a dude told me somebody's charging. They be charging $60 for haircuts.
You're getting
I said,
beat.
y'all, they didn't raise y'all rates because I'm used to y'all $15, $20. You talking about y'all
Legit.
to
And
cut
that's
your
what line included. A little
with
design included.
right, like boy,
Listen, not I.
at all.
Not I, not ever.
But
It's
am I
15, $20
considering?
in and out in
Am
an
I
hour.
considering cosmetology night school all of a sudden? Sure, sure.
Oh,
I miss.
oh,
Okay, I won't lie. This is my absolute favorite time, like hair time.
pixie cut. I've
Like,
seen your pictures. They were very cute.
like my favorite. Like, cause it's been like my favorite. Y'all don't mind the boobies, cause your girl didn't know no better. But like it's my
Oh,
favorite time. Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I cut it the first time when I was 16, and I was just like, I have the face for this. My face is
Yeah,
small.
legit. Everyone can do it well. Anyone could do it, but everyone
Right,
can't do it
everyone
well.
can't do it well. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah. You and my
it
other
is
critique
not.
partner
It is
have
not
had that. It's very cute.
something that I can do on natural hair. Like I know people do it on natural
Yeah,
hair. To me, it's too much heat for me to put on my
yeah,
hair
for sure.
consistently for me to do it. So I
Yeah.
always did it relaxed, and I just
Hmm.
don't. Especially with all the conversations about like cancers and stuff like that related to them now,
Oh,
it's like I really don't want to do it. Here's the thing, okay, and y'all know me and my little propaganda mind, though, right? Okay, here's my, my conspiracy theory. It's not propaganda. I
we're
don't do
listening.
conspiracy.
Tinfoil hats are on.
But like, look, y'all. The truth is, the matter is, nobody can say they know anything is 100% safe because we keep finding out everything
Right.
y'all told us
It's
is
a lie.
causing us issues. So it's like I'll be like, we can't like tell people, oh no, you're wrong to be afraid. Like, nah. Y'all been telling women for generations to get on birth control to help them with their cramps and their cycles and regulations. And now we got a whole generation of women fighting endometriosis and infertility issues related to being on birth control for years. With
Higher
women
rates in Black women, wouldn't
sexually
you know?
active, who weren't sexually active, wasn't planning on being sexually active, but got it because they were told this is what they needed to do to make their
Mm,
cycles less painful and to do it. Like, no.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's so sad. And so it's just like it just
it
really
is.
is like there's so many different things that's like, yeah, even though this is what I used to do, I don't know that
I
I
don't
want
have to do
to
it
have to
anymore. Let's
do
go
it
away.
right because I want to be careful. So
Yeah,
that's the only thing with pixie cuts because I love it. It's so
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
It's so simple, but
Very punky. Like it's very. It's just its own.
right,
It's its own mood. I like it.
man. And you can add little color pieces in there. Okay, it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
That was a somewhat random request.
And he's like, can you talk about this a little bit more? I'm not gonna hold you though. Literally, I have been meaning. Okay, we're gonna get to sprints and stuff, and then we're gonna talk about this tomorrow in detail. But I need to tell you now so you remember to bring this up tomorrow. I want to talk to you about like a lifestyle, like a channel switch, not like changing this channel or anything. Just
Yeah.
because like this is so niche, and it's
What
like
is?
what we do in the space that we're in now. for YouTube, it's so niche, and it's like there's just levels that we won't get to because it's just compromises we not gonna make. We just not gonna make.
And I'm fine with that.
Right. And so I was just like, I want to talk to her about this. I've been thinking about this just from like a personal standpoint of my like thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Literary lady, send me a DM on Instagram. Yeah, send me a DM and we can chat there for sure. I would be fine with that. I just don't want to go into because it's been 6 years now, so there's a lot like PhD as a topic.
It's
I wouldn't know where to enter. Right. Sure. I'm like, what about it? So yeah, DM me and we can talk. Okay. What y'all reading today? At 10:39 a.m. Eastern Standard.
I know, right? You know, it's Friday. Anything goes.
Yes. Anything goes on Friday for sure. Right. I'm gonna make some caramel coffee. I'm ready.
Oh, it's so cute. I like it. Also, can I say you like sitting straight up like when you were a kid and your mom, let me take this picture of your hair.
Right. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Like, yes, it's so cute. Oh, also this yellow looks really good.
It's my Naruto t-shirt.
I see you. Okay, little boy.
Oh, mercy.
We're gonna get into a sprint. I feel like you just being demanding right now, sir.
Oh my. Okay, yeah. So I am gonna read When It All Syncs Up. I'm continuing on that, although maybe in my final sprint I should pick up Thomas and Beulah, because it may just be that I read Thomas and Beulah and you read Poet X and we just have a conversation comparing the two.
Yeah.
Because we can't find it.
Yeah. I'm definitely trying to still read it before the month is up, but I don't know if I get to it before Tuesday just because of like all the finding I'm having. I did not expect it to be that hard, seeing as it's
an old book and she's like a very recognized poet. So I don't know, but I feel like older poetry isn't like, especially older Black poetry. The new audiobook wave, I think it's very focused on prose, not as much on poetry. So like newer poetries are also getting audiobooks in the poetry.
They're not backdating that process. Yeah, because no, there definitely is an audiobook. There's an audiobook for like The Spook Who Sat by the Door, and so there's like audiobooks for older stories for sure.
The poetry is getting left out though.
Really different. Yeah, that is a conversation.
That is. If I just had more time, I would love to just like reach out to people or their publishers and be like, would you be interested in me recording an audiobook of your poetry? For accessibility's sake. It's just, I think
Daughters of Jubilation, bro.
I need someone to put it on wax, please.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had started doing the like reading story thing on Twitch, and I was like, yo, if I make this a book for the Missy Elliott Readathon next year, I would do like read a chapter a night during the like a couple chapters during the month to like read it to get more people, because like it's like, well, one, I'm not keeping anybody from audiobook because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, but like,
and they do that. There are YouTube videos of people reading books out online.
Right, for sure. Right. Yeah. So I've been thinking about it because like it is such a good story. It's a hard story at parts, but like it's definitely, like Venna said, like it's definitely a story that shows like all spectrums of Blackness, from joy to like sadness. Like everything, it's not just landing in one place all the time. Like it was.
Yeah. And I liked Evie. I think Evie was funny.
She's funny. Her grandma funnier. Like
her grandmother, I said, oh,
her grandma, man, like, bro, there's like, don't do it. I love it.
Suffers no fools
at all.
Suffers no fools. That's what I do remember about her.
Yeah, she's like, do what I told you to do. Stop arguing and just do it.
Hello, and nothing else.
Nothing else. And I hear you arguing in your head. Still do what I told you to do.
Exactly. Shut up in your head also. Thanks.
Right.
Hilarious. That scene, I was on the edge of my seat. I knew she wasn't in any real danger, but the dynamics were just so, And she wasn't unknown because the mother made her sound like she was actually legitimately dangerous. And I was like, is she?
Nah, but it goes into like fear. It
Yeah.
goes into fear, and so like it just like it's so many good conversations. So I want you to finish it because like I feel like we could talk about so many different things, but I know how you are when there's no audiobook. So I'm not even mad because I understand like it's an accessibility issue, so it's not
It
your.
really is.
If there was an audiobook, I'd be talking to you a little reckless, but there isn't.
If there was an audiobook, I probably would have finished it by now
That's
because
what I'm
I
saying.
told you
Like,
about
if there
that
was an
book.
audiobook and you hadn't finished, I'd be like, you were starting this before me.
Exactly. I started that book like 2 years ago at this point.
That's why I would say I would have talked to you reckless because I'd be like, you tripping.
Yeah,
You
no.
tripping, girl.
Oh, especially your books set in the American South. That's
Right.
like,
And it's a
yeah,
fantasy. Like
exactly.
that's your thing. And low key, I want you to read it because I've read your stuff. So
Yeah,
I know you'll be like, yo, hey, I see what she did
this
there.
the line here.
She did there, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the publisher didn't believe in the book.
Man.
Oh, have you checked YouTube for Thomas and Beulah?
You smart.
Nah.
You smart. You know, I'm gonna do that right now.
Well, let's start a sprint first, and then
Yeah,
post
let's do
come back.
that because that's the thing. And I have the thing. I just realized I gotta share my screen with you, and that's probably what you've been like. She gonna click this button. My bad. Okay. It's been up. It's been up since you before the live
Since I
started.
asked you.
I just didn't. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, y'all, we are going to go into our first sprint. I am reading when it all syncs up. Throw in the chat what y'all are reading today. We'll see it when we get back. And 3, 2, 1. Y'all turn them pages.
Boy, if you don't stop being loud, disrespectful.
Okay, how did y'all do on that one? I ended last week at 50% when it all syncs up at my end. And I was really excited to finally get to the 50% mark. I'm at 51% now. Um, I I don't necessarily have a goal for how far I want to get this time. I just want to, keep pushing forward. Um, it would be so cool if I could finish by the end of this month or mid-May, but who knows? Maybe with school, like when school chills out a little bit more. Well, it's already pretty chill. I think by the end of this month, I'll definitely be able to do just more random reading on my couch. So hopefully I'll be done with it by the middle of May, but I'm making progress. That's the goal for today. And I'm really liking this book. Y'all know I'm not really one for contemporary fiction or for books where there's a lot of like trauma in it. Like that's just not my bag. One of my lights that's like right above me is out. So I'm sorry if I'm like dark and light contrasting back and forth while my screen tries to figure out what to do with me. But that sounds like an interesting read to you. Have you started? How's it going? But so yeah, but I really like how Maya does it because number one, it's things that's like this isn't made up. Like that teens are going through this, especially teens that do dance or dealing with these issues. We've known that for a long time. And so it doesn't seem contrived, the things that they go through. It just seems realistic. And yeah, I really like the way that she does it. I like the way that she does it because it mixes in like romance and some levity also. And so I like it. Um anyway, for whatever that's worth, that's my update. I'm still liking the way that she's doing this. I'm reading a kind of not a difficult scene. I was just ending with her like remembering something kind of difficult. And I like how she's doing it, like this sporadic remembering of a scene that we get more and more of every time. And sometimes we're getting the exact same thing we got last time, but with a bit more like context of where they were when this happened. So I really like how she does that so that it's not a ton of information. It's just continual clarifying of events. Really, really like it. Shay, how'd you do on that one?
I got through my medicine, so I'm feeling so much
Hey, you okay?
better. Yeah, you probably hear it in my voice too, huh? Yeah. I got to page 24, and so I realized that I have listened to this audiobook quite a few times. And I think I knew that already, but I'm hearing her voice when I'm reading it. And so like hearing how she would say this line or how she would pronounce this word. So it's just really cute. Like I like that. But also y'all know I'm a Elizabeth Stan, so there's that. So uh, I was reading um the poems about like when you're born to old parents.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know that Twin and I are a miracle. Aren't we reminded every day?
Mm-hmm.
And it like struck a chord with me because I feel like I don't know if it's been on your channel, but I was 3 pounds when I was born. And so my grandmother, me, and then also when my brother was born, my brother would die like 18 times a night. He was on like a machine as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so like majority of our childhood would be like her telling us like, you're a miracle, like you shouldn't be here type of deal. And so like I totally got what she was saying. Like when someone tells you a miracle, like you can't be ungrateful. You got to be happy just to be on this earth. Like you should be dead and gone from birth, yo. Like that's a hard thing to put on a child. And I don't think you even realize that when you're doing that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. And so it just was kind of like I remember why I love this book so much. I remember why I love this author so much. Because voice again. she has such distinct writing voices. Her characters are individuals for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. Also, just a reminder that there are some people who are writing books that are what they want them to be unapologetically. And I mean, that's again my belief on this. Who knows what compromises she actually did have to make in her own eyes and her own perspective. Just knowing that with whatever compromises she made, this is still what she came out with. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. This was sort of a little bit before the sprint, but just yeah, that's so cool. Of One Blow Out Probably Hawkins. That's an old one. Davenport. I have not. I know that you've mentioned it before here, but I don't remember what it's about or like what genre it is even. Do
the
you share?
Davenports is the no, is it the Davenports or the Hamptons? Which one? Like, because I feel like I've heard people talk about both of those, and one
Was it
of
a
them,
romance?
no, I think they're like family dramas, like black family
Oh,
dramas. I think y'all let me know in the comments, please.
yeah,
Because like
remind us.
one is by like Carl Weber, right? Like one is based off like Carl Weber and like a show. I feel like
Oh,
he had like they turned it into a show. And then I think the other one isn't. But y'all tell me in the comments. I feel like
yeah.
I'm right, but I'm also medicated.
Oh my gosh. Tia, not sure what book I want to read, so I am reading a chapter of both and I'll decide Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lin Tan or Resurrecting Midnight by Eric Jerome Dickey. Tia is not into the Davenport.
Got you.
Vienna says that you gotta give it a try. Shay, is it on YouTube?
Oh, that's what I started, and then I was like, oh, let me say that we are live on Instagram, and then I was on Instagram, and then I looked at the timer, and I was like, oh, you supposed to be reading. But I said it in a different way, like a way that I talk to myself that we don't talk to on YouTube. But
Correct.
it was like, yeah, you right. You right. I did it. It's something I was reading.
Got
So
it.
right now, while you go through the comments.
Yes. It's a cute cover, just not how I imagine the MC looks. It's a lot of books for me. Okay. That's another combo. Enjoyable slow read. You get over it. It's a must.
I think I see an hour. Thomas and Beulah by Rita Dove. It looks like
What?
I think
Okay.
I don't know if this is her picture. Oh no, it's a film based on it. Never mind.
Interesting.
It's a film based on the poetry book Thomas and Beulah by Rita Dove, which was originally published in 1986 and awarded a Pulitzer Prize in 1987. The film was produced in 1988 and subsequently shown on public television and via educational venues. Huh.
Okay. Reading chapter books to make a summer rec list. Y'all are such good booktubers. The way I have seceded, where this is my contribution to booktube, y'all are so good with the rec list. Decided to listen to Black Imagination. Yeah, what is that about? That sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
It sounds like it's a nonfiction too.
it does. So, maybe I should look into it. I mainly listen to audiobooks on Scribd. I just finished No One in the World and E. Lynn Harris and R.M. Johnson that was released after his death. Okay. I'm really enjoying it so far. Lena Waithe is the narrator as well. The Hamptons was Carl Weber's book. And you're right about the Hamptons. No, not the Davenports. Okay, you got to give Daughters of Jubilation a read. Got it. Okay.
No. Let me fix that real quick. No.
Right, she was like, no, not that one. Okay, he was like, let's be clear. I don't care about that one. I like my historical reads to feel historical, and I can't do 4 similar POVs. And that's a real struggle because I love multi POVs, but it truly is. You really have to make sure that those characters each have different voices, and it's not even enough to have them wanting different things. You could have characters that are distinct in their profile, but if they all still talk the same, then for a reader, it's still like I could just take one of these voices, or just have like a multi POV book in third person where I'm expecting some sort of like continuity in voice, because I know that it's a third person. But yeah, if it's a first person POV and it's multi POV, that is its own labor to make each one of those characters have a different voice that reads differently on the page. Aw, thanks, Vina.
Oh yeah, no, I would say the conversations, we definitely do our part. I might not be reading nothing but the stuff y'all recommend, but we be talking about the stuff.
We be talking about the stuff, and we have a lot of conversations about genre also.
Yeah, no, for sure. And especially with what we want to do going forward too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. That's
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
gonna be the move for real, for real.
Yeah.
Okay, they
All
are
right.
similar. Okay, hold on. What she say? Yeah.
Right about the POVs being similar.
Oh,
Which
POVs and similar. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
that's the
So
thing. It's
the
really hard.
audiobook is different from the Hamptons. Then got you.
And the audiobook should have had different narrators. There's another layer of it all being too similar. These are things like production is really important.
Yeah. I will say
Yeah.
that like I think it's not the number of narrators, it's the number of POVs. So that I'm learning that I dislike. Because like I love when the different POVs have different narrators.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what she's saying. Like their voices in the book already read as similar, and then in the
right.
audiobook there was just one narrator.
Exactly. Like that's my thing. Right. That's my thing, is that like it's the POVs that it'll be the issue, not the narrators for me. Because like even with the other Black girl, I didn't hate the narrators.
No, I don't remember having any feelings about her at all.
Right. There were just so many POVs, and they weren't all getting good enough attention to make the story feel
I didn't
full.
even care about all of them, but it was mostly the protagonist that I didn't care about actually.
No, like the other three people I care way more about, because their stuff seemed way more interesting
and relevant to what's going
on.
Yeah. But let's not get back into the other Black girl.
Right.
Another tall.
Yeah. That was just the first book that came to mind when I was thinking about all the different POVs and.
But even like Beast of Prey, multiple POVs, multiple narrators.
Got you, right. But you talked about feeling a way about that audiobook, right?
I didn't like the narrator for Adia. I didn't like her voice, but that's not Miss Gray's fault.
No, I don't think that's her fault by anything, but also saying that like it affects the story, because like weren't you saying that the rate of her audiobook was different from the books?
Because you would know better than I would. We both know that. But if I said it to you, that's how I felt. Okay. But yeah, I definitely, audiobook is such a thing. And I'd be wondering how they choose audiobooks, because I don't see a bunch of authors talking about how their audiobooks are chosen. I
feel like it's because they don't know.
Like Lizelle posted something, but that wasn't about how she was chosen. That was who she already was. I've only seen one, and I think it might have been Ayana that said something about like on her Instagram stories was like, I just listened to a few like audition clips of my audiobook narrator, something like that. But I really haven't seen much chatter about how audiobook narrators get chosen, probably because it's different for every like book deal or every publishing company about how they go about.
I don't think like a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
Like everybody doesn't get to like hear audition tapes or to choose or get input, you know what I mean?
So that's probably why they don't say anything about it. But I definitely wonder, because I don't know. That was one thing that I was always, well, not always, whenever I think about it, I would just be a little, not nervous, but like, like not me putting in my best on this book and then you ruining it for the audio audience. Yeah, so that's just one more thing that I'm happy that I don't necessarily have to deal with in self-pub, is that I'm choosing my own audiobook narrator. or I could just do it myself. But yeah, I definitely was like, audiobooks be making or breaking it for me.
No, for sure.
They really do.
I mean,
So.
because that's how you listening to it. How it's being consumed. So if you don't have one, you already done.
Yeah.
I feel like the unnecessary POV was Nella.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the story would have been way better with someone who was like trying to fight the OBGs. And
yes, the girl who came from New York or wherever, the girl who like came as changed states. Let's stay with her.
Here's the thing. Here, honestly, make Nella's point of view Hazel's point of view. Expand old girl from New York's point of view.
Yes.
Give us more history instead of like current day.
Yeah, could have been a fire book.
Right, it would have been a fire book because we got way too much of them currently. Like, she's a ghost and a shell of herself, and you haughty. I don't really need as much of that as I need to know what you've been doing for the last few years that you just been in hiding, and what you've been doing. That this is a thing.
Yeah, I agree. Hazel and Nella's like their coverage, like their percentage of coverage could have been swapped because, or even just like if it was the girl who was on the run, let it be her story, and then Nella, we get a little bit of her looking at this new girl who they're trying to like bring in, and her trying to save Nella from being brought in. Like that would have been like bring Nella in that way, because the truth is, I just. Who is caring about Nella this much? I wonder who is Reddit that was like, wow, I was just waiting to get back to Nella.
Right.
She didn't know
anything. Literally waiting to get to other people's point of view.
Who knew something and had real skin in the game. Nella's skin was not in the game of this overall plot.
She was, what's that? A non-factor? She
was in her own petty squabbles that really had no bearing on the overall. She was mad at the.
That was the whole twist of the story. You haven't worn the hair grease? Yeah, like that was the whole twist of the story. Like you were not a factor to what we were doing.
Wait, is Hazel the new girl?
Take you out. We didn't have to take you out.
Right. We could have just invited you in.
Right.
Laid out the entire thing, and you would have been like, "Let me think about it." Sure.
Right, because literally that's what you did. Literally, that's what you did after finding that people were basically being forced to be a part of this. So had they come with you with the information off top and not even show you,
she said you do not have to worry about me.
Sign me up, bro. No, I can get with that. Now that's the Black unity I'm with. I got
that's the kind of hair community I want to be a part of.
Yes. and I ain't gotta wear that funky grease y'all wear. Cool, I'm with it.
Absolutely, I can stay with my shea butter. Yeah.
And she did not like the smell of that grease at all.
So you ain't got to prescribe me no stinky stink. I'm just in it. I'm in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I ain't got no tea, but if I did, it would be hot. No lie, I would love for when we switch up to what we want to do in the future to like really make that like the remix, like make it like a thing that it's just like when it starts. That would be a dope intro. Like I like yeah. We'll have to talk about
from the little rinky-dink one I did for season 2. You were like, oh, I didn't know.
Out of nowhere, right? Just actually be trying it. Yeah.
Mercy. It would be hot. It would be hot. It would be hot.
Yeah, man.
So the author said that Nella was to show Black girls another way they could be a sellout.
Wait.
You wanted to show them that assimilation is an option. We knew that.
What? Like we didn't see Stacey Dash? You mean? Like I'm just saying, like Stacey Dash totally showed us. Like
I'm really glad I didn't have anything in my mouth at that point, because that would have been a full-on spit take.
I'm sorry.
You can't. The way the Black community has lived on Stacey Dash's neck, I hope she's okay.
Way more Black girls saw Stacey Dash than read the other Black girl. I promise you.
It's been covered.
I promise you.
It has been covered. We know that. Oh my gosh. She said like Stacey
Because
Dash.
the way that it was just like, yo, the way that my computer mouse just moved and it showed me that I never sent the tweet that we were alive.
I'm sick.
But nah,
Yo.
for the other, what? Girl, the more she talked, the more she shouldn't. Go lay down. Because why would you say that? We knew
She
this
what?
part.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
part we knew. That part, it was like, you ain't got to tell us, baby.
I wonder if she ever regretted admitting that. Because it might be true, but maybe you're just giving people a little bit too much of a window into yourself. Like we know that there are characters and stories and places that are inspired from the author, of course, because that's how art goes.
That's how art
But you
works.
ain't gotta draw us the map of what exactly came from your heart. We don't.
Right.
Sometimes it's better if
like,
we don't
here's
know.
the truth. I'm never gonna trust you. Never. Never. I'll write a blur for you. I'm straight. I'm straight.
It's okay.
And not in the heterosexual sense that I'm saying. Like, I'm straight. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I ain't think you
Please
hitting
don't
on
worry
me.
on
I'm
my
saying
account.
I'm cool.
I just
Because, you know, that's how it was in her book. You had to explain everything. So I said I'm straight. And I got to explain. I just mean I'm cool on what you saying. I don't want you to write no
a
word.
kitchen is. We're moving on. What? I'm rewatching the whole series of Living Single. Oh, no, watching it and realize how little I watched the show.
Man, everyone who has told me that, like, I couldn't get into Living Single because you were a child, go back and watch it as an adult.
Yeah. I didn't watch it at all as a child. I totally missed that on the Black sitcom
because I feel like it was ending, like, as you were, like,
oh, okay. Yeah,
born.
I totally missed it. I just started watching it in grad school, and I love it. Check it out. Check it out. Do what you want.
Man,
The freak
here's
position.
the thing, is that, like, it literally showed every facet of Blackness, and I loved it. Like, everybody was up for grabs, wasn't nobody free.
Vina, don't bring us back to the messiness.
Man,
don't bring us back to the no, ma'am. We're not going back into it. We're not. You
know what that makes me think of on Boondocks, on the episode where, like, Grandpa thinks that he got this long lost son, but he's like, he's not my son. And Tom gives him a job, and Tom's like, I got to put my folk on. You know how we do, but it's Tom.
Right.
Tom Dubois. So it's just like, that's how I heard it. That's how I hear it when I read it in a book. I'd be like, really, Tom? All right, Tom.
Right. Is that how we do?
Is that how
Interesting.
we do? Okay.
Right. Got it. Thank you for participating in the culture.
Right. Oh, you're mid-20s, and
yeah, I know. I love watching them. I love watching, especially, like, I feel like Sinclair and Max. I mean, probably Max more than anyone. Max had the biggest character arc, and
Max had a huge character arc.
Yeah, more than anyone else, more than Khadijah, more than Sinclair, more than Regine. Like,
she changes a lot from like the beginning of that. And legitimately, for me, like, the part of the reason that I like Max's character, especially Max and Regine, is because after Living Single, there becomes this very clear instance to make the promiscuous Black woman the dark-skinned Black woman, and it hardly ever, like, touches the other end. And I like that in the show it was like both of them going back and forth, and it was like we're calling everybody on it or whatever. It's your life, you do what you do, and like everybody's cool with who they are in that situation. And like it's not like that in other shows anymore. Like that's not the way that it is. You know what I mean? It's real, like, problematic, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just it was way ahead of its
representation right on that show.
It was way ahead of its time. And it's
like, for sure. And it didn't get replicated in the way that we might have hoped. It got like
replicated. It definitely got replicated, but in the way we hoped, not.
Right.
Literally.
For culture. Yeah.
Exactly, the Black sitcoms replicated. Like,
And in the white, the when I saw that little like, it sometimes the internet be telling me more than I want to know. Like when someone did like a post on Instagram and it was like,
there's a whole like video documentary thing of it with like
yeah,
well,
what I saw was like someone pulling an interview from Queen Latifah, and I forget who it was. It was a well-known old white man, not old, but like a white man that had his own like show, like a Jimmy Fallon-esque dude. And Queen Latifah was on his show. It was around the time of Living Single, even if it was a little bit after the show had concluded. Mm-hmm. But they were like talking about the success of the show, and she was like, yeah, well, the head of the network, there was a party or something and they were there, and someone had asked him like, if you could have or like replicate the success or the zhuzh of a show, what show on the network would have been? He was like, Living Single. And the next year, you know what came out? Friends. And the way they showed the parallel between it, like it wasn't even subtle. It was them copy and pasting Regine's laugh, them copy and pasting show concepts of like when Carl had the partners of his firm over and they wouldn't let the girls in to play poker, so they came in, did that exact same thing on Friends, like the replicating of an outfit of Regine's. Like it was full on copy and paste. Right. And I was just like, and the fact that Friends gets so much more, but I mean, again, like who was giving Friends much more love? Right. Friends gets all of this play when it's like they stole that from a Black show. Right. No, are these people getting paid the way they should? And apparently now they're getting paid
that I'm talking about. The documentary thing I'm talking about, it has the character. So you have like Sinclair talking about how she talked to the girl who played the character like her, and she was like, I'm sorry. She was like, no, like we're the same character. Like, how do you not know who I am? And it was like these people legitimately acted like they had no clue this other show existed. There's an interview with one of the guys or one of the people saying like, I think it's interesting that people are like talking about Friends. If you wanted this show, you should have created it. It was created before Friends. And it's always interesting, like having people argue that they're two different shows. And then it's like, no, you haven't watched Living Single. You think they're two different shows because you're like, nothing is different from Friends. No, Friends is a copycat show, period.
I find it very interesting when people speak about
the part that's crazy to me is they're shot in the same studio lot, like they were shot in the same area.
Yeah, the president, he said like I would replicate Living Single if I could, and did. Yeah. So yeah, it's written when people say stuff and knowing that you haven't watched the other show. Right. Just say, I didn't know that.
I have never seen an episode of Friends. I will be perfect. I've never seen an episode of Friends because I don't need to.
I've seen Living Single. I've seen it now.
Literally.
Especially like if you're like, oh, they're not like, if you know that one of the shows came first, then how can you say for certain that it wasn't?
It wasn't. Right? Like literally, it's legitimately the exact same thing. I feel like, what is it, like one character difference?
I don't know. Did they replicate? Because I've seen scenes of it from where they were like doing the comparison.
It's 3 dudes and Friends, and it's 4 girls. It's like 3 dudes and 3 girls in Friends, and it's like 4 girls and 2 dudes in Living Single.
I'm telling you, I have never seen that show.
No. I'm saying like that's like I feel like that's the difference, and it's like even still like, yeah. I just was like
and especially after that, I can't watch it. First of all, I can't watch a show that way. I
just could like that was why I could never watch it. Like why? Like literally,
it's just Wonder Bread for what?
And the part that doesn't make sense is there's no Black people in the show except for like a couple of episodes, and it's like that wasn't Living Single. Right. There were white people on Living Single.
They had Rosie O'Donnell on there. I was like,
right. Like there were white people on Living Single, like reoccurring characters.
Because it's in New York and they were honest.
Right. Like, how are you in New York and you don't see no Black people ever? Okay.
Anyway, we're going back to reading.
They can't even FriYAY had to deal with Black people. I don't know what y'all do. Like, come on. Like,
oh my word. Well, I'm glad that they're getting, I hope that the actors are getting paid more now. Like the Living Single actors are getting royalties.
Yeah, because I think it is getting played in more places. Like more people have like rights to
Yeah.
it because there is like a resurgence of people wanting to watch
Yeah.
it.
90s sitcoms as a whole are experiencing a
Yeah,
rebirth. And that's good
I
for
love that
them.
for all of them because they deserve it.
Absolutely.
Deserve
Absolutely.
nothing less. We had amazing shows, and I hate when people like the shows are so woke now. They always want to talk. No, our shows have always talked about these things. There's always
Yeah.
been a racism episode. There's
Yeah.
always been a pregnancy episode. There's always been episodes that talk about things that are going on
Yep.
in the top.
HIV.
Right, every single show
They
we've had,
do it in all of them.
all of them, because they
Yeah.
know there are topics that don't get covered like they should. So our writers took the time to make sure they were. It's just
Because they're committed to culture. These writers now, I don't know what wokeness people are referring to,
they're
but this
not, they're
canned.
ish and black-ish and
Okay, no, we're not even gonna get into it. Y'all, y'all ready to read? We gonna read
let's
again. Y'all
read.
ready?
I'm
It's
ready.
3, 2, 1. Y'all turn them pages.
I moved the timer by accident. My bad. Okay. There we go.
All right. Hello, y'all. We're back. That was our last sprint. We basically did an hour of talking and an hour of sprinting. You're welcome. I am 55% into the book now, so I got through 5% during our time. I got to chapter 14. Um, yeah, it's hard. I wonder, but in a way that like compels my curiosity. There's something going on with her and her mother, and I'm trying to figure out what it is, especially since her mother is not actually on the page. It's all just memories, even though her mom's not dead. So I'm definitely like, what are the parameters and boundaries of this relationship? Because the dad doesn't want her to have contact with the mother. So I'm like, what happened? So yeah, it's interesting, but I'm enjoying it. Shay, how'd your reading go?
It went really good. I got my phone charged enough to where like I can do the little read with me short that I want to do for this to put on YouTube or whatever. So I'll be doing that the once we get off of here. I started making lunch. I just got through the poem where she was like thinking about writing the most impactful day of her life, and she was thinking about the day she got her cycle, and just the conversation that she and her mother had or did not have, I guess. And it just was like I appreciate the topics that she touched on in this book. I really, really do. I appreciate it a lot, a lot. So yeah, so I'm enjoying myself. I'm on page 40, and there's how many pages in there? 361. So I'm above. I'm at above 10%. So that's good. You know, I'm
Okay.
about 11% through the book, so that's good. I definitely should be able to finish it today. It's a pretty fast read, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to finish it today and shoot all that today. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, we're gonna go through the comments and then close out. Hey Craft Blend, long time no see. Should be reading for class, but procrastination central. Hoping to get some reading done with y'all. Yeah. Well, I hope that you were able to. I think you got about 20-25 minutes of that sprint. So hopefully you were able to get some reading done. We're actually closing out now, but we're glad that you came by. Hello there, Books by Adrian. Um, Shay, do we know this?
Yeah, yeah. I did his podcast last year.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. Nice
yeah.
to see you again. Okay, y'all, thank you for chatting with us about no, it's okay. It's okay. Happy these are actually reading sprints, but if anyone here is writing, also happy writing. Um yeah, thanks for y'all participating in our conversations about the unsung heroes of Black sitcoms, and the unnecessary POVs of some of the more recent Black lit. Okay,
Right.
Shay, any outgoing announcements?
No, I'll be around. So, y'all see me when y'all see me. I'm hoping
There
to
it is.
stream tomorrow. I'm hoping to stream tomorrow for a short story Saturday and get some words in the morning.
Okay,
But I make no promises.
that's the way to do it.
Mm.
All right, y'all. Nothing for me. I mean, I guess our live is on
Oh,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, we're live on Tuesday to talk about
Yeah.
the
Okay.
poetics and
So Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, Shay and I will be talking about some poetry books, which what those books will be TBD. So just come and listen to us talk about poetry. In honor of National Poetry Month. Um, I need to get around to making that link. So look out for that. All right, y'all have a
and
great
thumbnail while
weekend.
you at it.
Huh?
And thumbnail while you at it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Really, the
Mhm.
thumbnail. The link is a 5 second thing. The thumbnail, I'm like, oh yeah, 'cause I did something so different for the Black History Month one that I can't just like recycle it. So I have to make a new one. Yay! Okay, y'all have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.